Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Crypto Stew listeners. Up to 60 subscribers. That's 3 more than I had the last time I made a video. My last video did as well as I expected it to. It got about 10 views because it wasn't kitschy or catchy or had any catchphrases in the title. But that's fine. I make the videos I want to make, and if anybody sees them or likes them, that's fine. I hope people like what I'm doing, but I kind of do these for me. Look, I'm sure that I'm going to put something crazy like double your Bitcoin overnight with Nexo or double your Bitcoin instantly. That's true. It's not clickbait, all right? But it's also insane, and I highly recommend not doing it. But I will go over the mental exercise of how it can be done. So today's video is about the Nexo platform, which is a platform I have been using for 6 months now. I also use Celsius, and I want to review these platforms I've been using because I know a lot of people are new to crypto and they don't really know about these platforms, or even if they do, they don't know if they're safe or they don't know how they work, and they're scared, and everybody's scared. And I also don't believe the other YouTubers. You can only trust Crypto Stew, okay? Because I have 60 subscribers. Nobody's paying me to say anything, all right? So if I was going to say Nexo sucks, it's because Nexo sucks. You're not going to see any reviews that say Nexo sucks. Why? Because they want you to use their affiliate links to use Nexo, and you're not going to do that if they're saying it sucks. So you're guaranteed a positive review by all of these YouTubers, and these platforms know that by having an affiliate program, by having referral links that give them money, they know they're going to get a positive review, and that they want that review to go to as many people as possible and get as many new members as possible because it makes the YouTuber money. I'm not making any money. I have no money. I'm not making any money. I'm just making videos, and you can trust Crypto Stew. Now, with that being said, I actually have incredibly positive things to say about Nexo. It just happens to be that way. But like I said, if Nexo sucked, I would let you know. Okay, so I've been using the platform for a while, and they changed a lot of their platform about 2 months ago, and they made platinum members and bronze members and various types of metal members. This video only applies to platinum members, or what I'm saying is you should become a platinum member if you're going to do this, which I'm not recommending you do anyway. But in order to be a platinum member, you need at least 10% of your portfolio to be in Nexo token, which has been a really good coin. It actually has performed incredibly well. So it's not some crap coin that you're going to lose all your money in. It has decent utility, and it's been performing very well. So even outside of the platform, the Nexo token has been a pretty decent coin to own. Also, there's an advantage to these platforms. The biggest advantage is what it enables you to do is to borrow off your Bitcoin. Let's say you have bills to pay and you own Bitcoin and you really don't want to sell your Bitcoin, but you have to pay your bills. It enables you to borrow the money to pay your bills and then pay it back at a later date so that you don't have to sell your Bitcoin, because you don't want to part with those sweet, sweet Bitcoins of yours because they're going to be worth a fortune someday. At least I think so. So, also, when you borrow off your Bitcoin, it's not a taxable event. See, if you sell your Bitcoin, let's say you're up on Bitcoin, like you bought it cheap and now it's a lot of money, and you need cash, so you sell some, you owe taxes on the profits of whatever amount of Bitcoin you sold. But if you borrow off it, you don't owe any taxes. It's not a taxable event if you borrow off your Bitcoin. So it saves you that headache as well. So that's the other major advantage. All right, so back to Nexo. They changed a lot of their rules about a month or 2 months ago. Platinum members, if they borrow on Bitcoin or Ethereum, can borrow up to 60% of their Bitcoin or Ethereum's value, and they can and they pay only 6% interest. So that gave me this insane idea, which I have not done, which I don't recommend anyone doing. This is just a mental exercise on how you can double your Bitcoin in, I mean, literally in an hour, because the loans they give out, you borrow and you fill out the form, and it's like a really quick form. You fill in 3 blanks, and they send you, if you're withdrawing stable coins, you get that money within 10 minutes. And if you're withdrawing to your bank account, which I've never done, I assume that's really fast as well. But if you're withdrawing stable coins, it's so fast, like it's ridiculously fast. So I do have a lame visual aid to assist me in how this works. So it's just a Word file that I made just to help Crypto Stu and his listeners get through this. So here we go. You're on the Nexo platform. Let's start off with, even if you were crazy enough to do this, I'm starting off with one Bitcoin and saying that one Bitcoin is 50,000 just to make the numbers easy. If anyone were crazy enough to do this with one Bitcoin, I would assume they have at least 4 Bitcoin in their total stack. You would never want to do this with your whole Bitcoin stack. It's crazy to begin with. It would be even more crazy if you're doing it with all your Bitcoin. All right. So you're a platinum member. 10% of your portfolio is in Nexo token. You deposit one Bitcoin, which is worth $50,000. Now, like I said, if you're a platinum member, you can borrow up to 60% of its value. So that's 0.6 Bitcoin value, which is $30,000. So you would borrow that $30,000 and you would buy Bitcoin with it. So now you have one point. Now then you would deposit that Bitcoin back onto Nexo. All right. So you borrow you borrow 30,000 in stable coins, which they would send to whatever exchange. You just give them the address. Then you buy 0.6 Bitcoin with it. Then you send that Bitcoin back to Nexo into your Nexo account. So now your stack is at 1.6 Bitcoin. It gets even better, folks. You can now borrow off that 0.6 Bitcoin that you just deposited. So, and again, it's at the same 60% rate as long as 10% of your portfolio remains in Nexo. So now you can borrow another 18,000, which can buy you 0.36 Bitcoin, and then you can deposit that back into Nexo, bringing your stack to 1.96 Bitcoin. Then you can borrow off the 0.36 Bitcoin that you just deposited, and you can buy another 0.216 Bitcoin with your $10,800 you're borrowing, bringing your total Bitcoin stack to 2.17 Bitcoin. Now, you could do it another time. You can do it a lot of times, but you can do it another time. But for this mental exercise, I wouldn't do that because you can buy another, that leaves $6,500 worth of Bitcoin that you haven't borrowed off of. That will actually earn interest, which will actually bring down your interest rate in the overall sense of things. Your interest rate will be lower. So for the mental exercise, that is where I would stop. I would stop at this level right here is where I would stop borrowing. So as you can see, and like I said, the loans take about 10 minutes. You can go from having one Bitcoin in your account to having 2.17 in your account in a matter of 1 hour. So in 1 hour, without adding any money of your own, you have more than doubled the amount of Bitcoin you own on Nexo in an hour. So it's not clickbait. It can actually be done. It's totally doable. It's a mental exercise. But yes, in 1 hour you can double your Bitcoin on Nexo. Okay, so let's go through what would we do from here, because now we owe money. And we have this Bitcoin. So the leftover Bitcoin that you didn't borrow off of will actually earn interest. It'll actually earn 387 at 6%. It'll earn $387 worth of interest a year in paid in Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up, you actually earn more than this. And then you currently owe, if you stopped here, like I said, you owe $58,500 at 6% interest. So that's around $3,500 per year in interest. With 387 interest earned on the leftover Bitcoin from up here, the ones you didn't borrow off of but you deposited, your overall rate is actually only about 5.3%. So your current value of your portfolio is $108,800. And this is important, people, because I know the first thing somebody's going to say is, but Crypto Stu, if Bitcoin goes down, I'm going to get liquidated. Okay, well, first of all, anyone with a brain in their head, if you were ever going to be crazy enough to do this, you would only do it after Bitcoin has taken a pretty large dip. Usually during bull runs, Bitcoin can take 30, maybe 35% dips. We're in the middle of a dip now. I don't know where it is. I think it's about 20%. But say Bitcoin ends up 35% off its all-time high. Well, I mean, it's down 35%. I know what it feels, if it were down 35%, I know how it feels when Bitcoin takes a dip and you know it's a good time to buy, but you don't have any cash to buy with. This is a way of kind of buying in without having any more cash. So it's definitely an option for people. Not that I recommend doing it. In fact, I recommend not doing it because, you're borrowing money. It can be risky. All right. But so if Bitcoin has already taken a 35% dip when you start this process, Nexo, if you're a platinum member, you only have to hold 20% more than what you owe in Nexo. So that's only $70,200. Remember, your account right now is worth $108,800. So the market, Bitcoin, would have to take another 35% dip in order for you to get close to being liquidated. So if you did it after a 35% dip, you would need another 35% dip from that mark, which is a huge drawback. That's not a bull market anymore. That means you're in a bear market. If you have a 35% dip that's followed by another 35% dip, you're in a bear market now. Like the numbers, the thought processes have to change if that happens. But if you believe that we're in a bull market and we're just in a dip from a bull market, well, then this makes a lot more sense. So, like I said, Bitcoin would have to take another 35% dump just to bring the value close to liquidation value. Also, remember I said you wouldn't be doing this with your whole Bitcoin stack. So if you get close to liquidation value, you can always deposit more Bitcoin to make sure you don't get liquidated. So you can cover yourself. Now, but let's say Bitcoin does what, we're here because we're bullish on Bitcoin, right? Let's say Bitcoin does what we think it's going to do. Let's say sometime in the next 2 years, Bitcoin 3x's. So then on this exercise here, Bitcoin ends up being worth $150,000 per coin sometime within 3 years. All right. So here, if BTC does a 3x anytime over 2 years, your portfolio will be worth $325,500 with $65,500 in debt. Now you pay off the debt. After payoff, your portfolio is worth $260,000 or 1.73 BTC. And if you had just held, you would only have one BTC, and it would be worth $150K. So you have a total profit of $110,000 or 0.73 Bitcoin for a 73% extra return. More than you would have had you just held Bitcoin. And then that's the big question at the bottom, is it worth the risk? That's up to you. I'm not saying doing this. I'm not saying do this, but it's out there. It's a mental exercise. It is definitely, all the rules work. This can be done. I'm not saying it's to be done, all right? You can drive from Manhattan to New Jersey in reverse. You can just put your car in reverse and drive the whole way. That doesn't mean it's smart. It doesn't mean it's safe, but it can be done, all right? This is kind of like that. It's a mental exercise. All the numbers work. It's within the rules of Nexo. You can do this. It's out there. But I'm recommending not actually doing it. It's just a mental exercise, something I've been thinking about. If Bitcoin actually were down 35% from its all-time high, yes, I would think about maybe borrowing some money, maybe. I don't know. We'll see if it ever gets down that low. Because, like I said, these numbers do work. It would have to take another 35% dump for me to get anywhere close to liquidation value. And I do, in my heart of hearts, believe that Bitcoin will 3x sometime over the next 2 years. So is it something I would consider? Absolutely. But it's not something I'm recommending. But yes, you can actually, 1 hour from now, you could have 1 Bitcoin in your Nexo account and turn that into 2.17 Bitcoin in 1 hour without adding any money of your own. That's absolutely true. It is very doable as long as you have enough Nexo tokens to make it 10% of your portfolio. All right, so that's the video with Crypto Stu here. I'm very appreciative of my 60 subscribers. And this is a lot of fun making these videos. And if you think I'm crazy or for some reason you think this doesn't work or anything, feel free to comment. I see all the comments. You can click like if you liked it. Hope everybody just enjoyed the mental exercise here of what can be done out here in Bitcoin land. But yeah, so until my next video, this is Crypto Stu signing off.